Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Hey, I just want to make sure everybody's doing okay, so let me know in the comments below how y'all are holding up. Make sure to get some water ready or your drink of choice, and settle on in because DMs of r/MrRipper. What is the worst mistake you've made in a campaign? Part 2. The power of curry. Oh, I can feel it already. I made a homebrew campaign about a vampire that was using hags to steal curry recipes from local cities and villages. The idea was that the vampire was looking for a curry cocktail that would give him immense power to dominate the land. So the PCs would venture to slay the hags stealing the curry recipes, return them to their owners, and in return be awarded a vial containing a curry sample. The PCs didn't know it at the time, but these vials contained elements of the ultimate curry the vampire was after. Had any of the characters chosen to drink the curry vials, they would be gifted with an extra 1d20 for a combat duration. However, throughout the campaign, none of them drank the curry the entire time, despite being in situations where a last hope option was a good idea. Cut to the PCs at the vampire's castle. He gives his monologue about his plan and how the PCs have ruined it for him. I look over and see the wizard of the group who is carrying all of the vials of potions, and the cogs are turning in her head, and she is putting it all together. They begin combat. On the first turn, the wizard chugs every single vial. The other PCs look at her like, what the fuck? But I knew she knew what she just did. I explained to the group that the vials of curry have the ability to give immense power to anyone that drinks one individually. But since she drank all of them, she had done exactly what the vampire was trying to do. So she basically got to roll an extra 5d20 on her rolls throughout combat. On her first roll for damage, 3 of the 5s were natural 20s. This is how it went. There was a vampire, and now there's a pile of ash in front of the party. So much for a fun final boss to an otherwise epic campaign. TLDR, I gave the PCs curry vials that granted the drinker 1 extra d20 on rolls for a whole combat sequence, and a wizard drank all 5 for the big bad evil guy and one-shot it. I'm not the DM, but due to the fact that the original players of the campaign burnt down a town in the first session, then burnt it down again a few sessions later, I was made to swear I wouldn't catch things on fire when I joined. Main campaign only, I'm allowed to be a Pyromaniac in one-shots. 2 separate items have been homebrewed to stop fires. On the last session, our newest player decided to light a building on fire with magic. With the deadest eyes I've ever seen, the DM just turns to me. I can't stop the fire with my item as it only works on non-magical fire. And the player with the other item that would work wasn't there that day, so another building burned down. Our poor DM can't keep up with us. I tried to make the consequences of no preparation too real. It was my second game DMing and my first long-term campaign. We were playing this 5th edition superhero game I homebrewed in college. The party was breaking into various military bases the evil anti-mutant government group ran to try and find evidence they could use in a government hearing to change things. One player made a new PC whose power was difficult to DM for, but was super interesting. A D100 roll for a Deadpool-style magic pocket. Like, tries to pull a tank and rolls a 1, you get a tank, driven by the big bad evil guy. Roll a 100, you get one with the credentials you need and an upgraded cannon and machine gun. So this PC wanted a key card for the base they were near. Rolled a 90 or something. So I gave him an ID that looks a lot like him. I expected them to try to figure more out about this guy, so I set a few security questions and passwords for the other PCs to be let in as guests. But they just marched in. I wanted them to feel like there were consequences, so I tried to push the security and stuff. And I pushed too hard. I went after the smallest mistakes to the point I realized I was overriding their creativity and agency in the game. No idea could succeed and no roll mattered. It was terrible, and it haunts me to this day. Lost half the players from that. There were some personal reasons too. The ones who left were kind of jerks outside the table who didn't like a friend of mine for pretty bad reasons I won't get into. But it was still a learning experience. Until life ended the campaign. The next infiltrations went much better and much more fun. TLDR, real consequences to PC's impetuousness and removing PC agency can be a very thin line. As the DM, I thought the ratio from gold to platinum was 1 platinum equaled 100 gold, while it should be 10 gold. And we played Dragon Heist where platinum is thrown around a lot. I didn't realize it after the campaign was over, and now it's an inside joke with my player that a platinum is worth only 10 gold pieces. Not mine, but a friend's. They were in an isolated place training with each other. The Ghost Paladin decided to seduce the player using a homebrew dragon class. He also had a tentacle because he was an aberrant dragon. The Paladin's sword was sentient, and when the dragon grappled him with this tentacle right near a certain place, the sword gained his flaw. We call this Joe's Flaw. Orc Redemption Paladin. We were dealing with a tribe of orcs due to his oath he wanted to avoid killing them out. So he barged into the orc-occupied structure and revealed his title, and how he earned it, to scare them off. The problem: I forgot the elf ranger was watching through a window. Paladin's title and reason for seeking redemption: Runyok the Elf Hunter. The ranger was not aware of this and was now aware my character participated in the genocide of his tribe. My friend running a homebrewed Pokemon D&D. A short version, we were fighting a legendary and it gets to one of our turns. It being a bit of a light-hearted D&D, our DM asked, "What do you want to do?" My friend is thinking, and me being a bit of a joker says, "Oh god, don't throw a Pokeball." My friend smiles and says he's gonna do it. Our DM said, while trying not to laugh because there was no way in hell he was going to let us catch a legendary, "Okay, roll for it." Nat 20. Roll again to confirm, mostly because of it being a legendary and the capture chance was low, and we really were not supposed to have this. Friend with girlfriend, now wife next to him, oh my god, it's so cute. Nat 20! Needless to say, all of us were laughing because of this. It sucks that we stopped playing shortly after that and didn't get a chance to see where this would take us, but still a good memory. Hey, thanks for sharing it, guys. Some years back, I was DMing a Gen 1 campaign, and I told my brother-in-law that challenge was a matter of setup rather than how bad the monster actually was. That I could take a tribe of orcs and make it challenging for the party. He said I should give that a try. That party was about 6th level, so I designed a cave for defense, armed my reaction force with runkas, a pole arm that in Gen 1 could be used to disarm troops with simple handheld melee weapons like swords. As a result, I was facing a TPK. Although we didn't have that term back then. I sacrificed 2 of my favorite DM NPCs to cut a path for the party to escape. As soon as they were out of the cave, my brother-in-law wanted to go back in to rescue the DM NPCs. I told him that if they waited much longer, the orcs would have a pursuit party together, and he would be wasting the lives sacrificed to allow them to escape. And I meant that. They went back, better prepared at 8th level, and slaughtered my poor little orcs. Easily the biggest mistake I ever made as a DM was homebrewing a 1d10 misfortune table for a Hexblade Warlock and very good friend of mine. It was full of weird and random things that could be directly harmful or indirectly helpful to the party. But it also had some absolutely game-breaking potential that I didn't realize until it was far, far too late. Thus far, they had rolled and made random volcanoes in the world erupt, random sky ships fall from mid-flight, and even summoned a swarm of angry bats that attacked the party in the middle of active combat. I should probably elaborate that this was my first game I had ever run, and didn't really understand the potential repercussions. Flash forward a few months of playing, and the party meets the king. They immediately don't like and deeply distrust him due to some poor insight rolls and admittedly cagey explanations on my part. The next morning, the warlock rolls on his table and rolls an effect that, due to my lack of understanding of balancing and inexperience, allows him to pick a place that he has seen. When he does so, a tear in space opens up and sucks in everything within 15 feet of the space it originated from before it disappears again. I then roll to randomly determine which plane of existence whatever was sucked up gets dropped in, then I roll again to determine how long it's there before it reappears at said player's feet. He chose the throne, which then sucked the king and captain of the guard and spy master into Avernus for a full month. TLDR, dude didn't like the king and was jumped at the chance to hurl the king into hell, which plunged the whole city into absolute chaos. Well, so far in the 9 portals, the new guy, his character is a female tiefling sorceress, says that to explore these doors to break up the party. I'm like, wait, what did you just say? Look, so I'm the DM. I know breaking up the party is the worst idea for any campaign, so I had all 4 players roll wisdom. He got a nat 20. Before heading on with the campaign, and thanks for a question answered in Sunday's live D&D, I pulled the guy to the side and told him that breaking up the group is a bad thing, and wanted to know if he wanted to keep going on with this idea or stay with the group. He wanted to go with his idea, break up the group. I nodded and we went back to playing. With his nat 20, his tiefling told every character to go which door he chose to go through. I hope they make it through to the next room, but this may be the worst thing this group made. I did try to warn him. One time at the final chapter of my friend's campaign, our 12th level party was trying to discover where one of its previous members was, after he got possessed by wielding a demon blade. After an encounter with some pale kobolds, which almost resulted in the death of all of our characters, we were luckily saved by a demi-bear NPC, which coincidentally was the love interest of my character, a Warlock Dragonborn. After a couple of minutes after we were rescued, 2 adult dragons, one white and the other green, started chasing us while we ran through some grass plains. Somehow the demi-bear was able to momentarily stop them, telling us to continue running. Again, as he was my character's love interest, there was no way I'd let him fight 2 full-grown dragonborns all by himself, and I was confident in the serious amounts of damage that Eldritch Blast could deal. I was pretty confident it'd be fine. The plan was for my character to enter combat and help the NPC, distracting both dragons while the rest of the party kept running. However, I wasn't literal enough with my words, and when I entered combat, all of my party joined alongside me. After some initiative tests, both dragons ended up going first, and all players except for me failed both constitution saves. This resulted in the end of our campaign, as most of our party had been obliterated in only 2 rounds. From that day forward, I always try to be as literal as possible when discussing plans with our group. Hey everybody, Brian here, checking in after the vid as usual. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to ring that bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video or go live. If you'd like to submit a story of your own, please do so on our subreddit r/MrRipper, and make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Links are going to be in the description below. And of course, use a help action. Help me out by following me on my channel, Brian Von VA, where I make memes, voice your D&D characters, and stream some games too. As a simple act of positivity today, I just wanted to say, hey, I hope everybody's doing alright. In the comments below, can you tell me something that happened to you this week that was actually pretty good? Or maybe something that was really good? Something that you learned, something that you were happy about, something that made you smile, anything, because we gotta share that positivity with the world, and hell, we need to focus on it too, because otherwise, we're just gonna worry about things all the time, and we have enough of that every day, don't we? All the love, everybody. Have fun, be safe, I'll see you next time, bye for now.